welcome back to Mortals and Portals, a Pathfinder real play podcast. I'm your host and GM, Zach, and joining me at the table is...
Adam, and I play Jules, an Azoketi bard.
I'm Joel, and I play Dax, a kobold rogue.
Ryan, I'm Tough, an automaton inventor.
Taryn and I play Waltz, a human champion.
Hey guys, I don't want to alarm anyone, but you may have noticed there's literally another person here.
Ah!
Who's that guy?
You guys see that guy?
Yeah,
you can
I
hear him
see
breathing
him.
into the mic
Oh
right
my
now.
God, he's right behind me.
I can feel the breath.
Yes.
What's your name?
I'm Josh.
Yes, Josh, you guys know Josh.
Was that a
Everybody
bad
knows
reveal?
Josh. Yeah,
Revealing
no, that's
myself?
perfect. That was perfect, dude. You're good. I have no plan for
Everyone
how to
knows
reveal
Josh,
you.
right?
I literally
Yeah.
had no plan, so I just love you saying that. Yeah, there's a guy
Sounds
here.
like Mortals and Portals.
There's a guy here named
You have a
Josh.
new friend.
He's
It's
in
me.
our podcast right now. He's swinging by. So yes, this is Josh from the Sneak Attack podcast, which is a
Holy crap, how did we make
D5E
this happen?
podcast, and he's also from his other podcast that he GMs called The Titans of All Terra. So I don't want to talk too much,
Way
Josh, because I
less
feel like you should
SEO
get
optimized name, that one.
Titans of All Terra. Hey, it
yeah,
pops
yeah,
right up
yeah.
when you search it. Yeah. So,
Don't ask what we had to do to get him. It was a lot.
Ooh.
Ryan had to do
Dude.
a lot.
I specifically had to do a lot I was not comfortable with.
Okay, so
Listen,
the main thing...
everybody wants a piece of the beard, and it's here.
Oh yeah, he's got an amazing beard, yeah. The main thing you need to know about Josh, if you like Mortals and Portals, is I am almost positive there would not be Mortals and Portals if it wasn't for Josh's first podcast.
I would
Sneak
actually agree with
Attack.
that.
I'm like
I would
100,
totally
I'm
agree with
serious
that.
because, so not to just keep talking while Josh is here, but Josh, you were a part of a podcast called Sneak Attack, and you were one of the first 10 actual play podcasts, is that right?
At least 20.
Okay,
at least
first, 20, yeah.
early days, 2015.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like long ago.
Which
but
is
it was.
nuts to think about. When you think about how many
Yeah, now
are
there's
out
a
there now.
bajillion.
It's been super fun to watch.
So when I
That's
first
so
started
cool.
playing 5e, Adam knows Josh in real life, they were friends before, and I know we could talk about this forever, guys, but
He's the best bud.
He said,
Yeah.
"Hey, if you're learning 5e, check out this podcast." And I put it on, and I was listening to it, and then he's like, "Yeah, I know this guy in real life," and I was like, "Wait a minute, just people from Lincoln, Nebraska, just made
Yeah,
this
dog.
amazing podcast, and knowing that and how great it was and how authentic it felt and just friends playing was you know what, guys." When we texted about making a podcast, I felt like we could do it because of Sneak Attack, because they were just
genuine
friends playing. Because all the other podcasts, Critical Role, all this stuff, it's actors,
It's like actors and comedians.
comedians, professional writers, and you're no, you
Yeah,
make a great
totally.
podcast just playing with your friends.
It's
So thank
ah,
you, Josh.
if
for Mortals
they
and
could
Portals.
do it, anybody can.
If these bozos could do it. And I think that's what I
honestly,
said when I was talking to Josh. I was wait, just some guy
legitimately-
Adam knows can make a podcast? Adam? My brother-in-law, Adam?
It's so
Doesn't know
funny
anyone.
because I don't know if you realize how much that endeared me to you, Zach. Just be you're just some guy Adam knows. And I was like,
That's all
hey,
you
that's
are to
who
me.
you are to me.
Yes.
But yeah, no, the biggest compliment anybody could pay is that they started making something because we made something. That is,
Oh, dude, you inspired us for sure.
warms my
Yeah.
heart every time I hear it, and it makes me super happy. And so it's been super
Dude.
fun. I got to listen to your guys' first episode before anybody did.
That's
outside
right,
of
yeah.
you guys. Adam sent it to me and read, and we got to check it out and give some input and feedback. And I don't know if I gave any feedback. I was just hey, this is cool. Do it, man. Yeah, go do
All
it.
right.
I'm
Yeah.
make
awesome.
things. Go make things. That's my favorite. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And you guys are killing it. This is so cool to watch. I was
Oh, man.
so honored that I get to jump in. So very happy to be here. Anybody listening
Thank you for being
doesn't
here.
have to go listen to anything I've done. So just don't feel pressured.
But if
But
you
you
want to,
You
if
can.
you want to,
You should. If you're caught up on Mortals and Portals, or if you're not, I don't care. Stop
you can
listening
listen
to
to
this.
more than one
Go listen
podcast.
to that, and then you can come back later.
if you want to know what inspired us, check it out.
I'm guesting on a bunch of podcasts, but my own podcast is I'm struggling to finish it. So we're in season 3. It's
Yes.
it's not finished. It's been going for 3 years. I think some list of top 100 podcasts that we got on listed our release cadence as 3 episodes a year.
You're okay, that hits hard.
So that one felt really personal, but
Yeah.
it was real.
And you GM and edit that podcast. He does all.
I
those
did a lot
stuff
of
for
it.
that.
Yeah.
That's
So-
the Titans of
Jeez.
Altera. That's his other podcast, and this will all be linked in the description.
And you can throw this at the end of the episode if you want. I don't,
Oh
I don't
no
want to take up the intro.
They
We can
gotta
get
know
into the action.
They got to know the person that inspired us is here
Right.
to play. And yeah, that's right. So he's going to be a guest, for a while, maybe. We'll see, depending on how fast they kill him. I don't know. They might just kill him immediately. I don't know.
What if we did?
Yeah, it's up to you guys. You want to
Quickly, we scare him off.
this character? Kill
I don't
him.
know,
Like,
guys. It's been a long time since I played Pathfinder, so.
Oh, dude, we don't even know how to
you
play
are in
Pathfinder.
the right place.
Don't tell
You're
me
in the right place. Yeah, 'cause
Still
we
figuring
also
it
just
out.
started like a
How to play
remaster.
Pathfinder.
We're like, what? Like, I didn't even know the original, the remaster. Oh my God. Goodness gracious. Yeah, we're doing our best here. But yeah, okay. So thank you so much for joining us, man. And
Thank you, Josh.
I'm assuming, like we probably got some extra listeners here to check out Josh and all of his awesome glory. So I'll probably do a little bit longer introduction to this just to give people some context. Because if you're just popping in, they'll be like, what is going on? Which is totally cool. If you want to just, if you're just an insane person that just wants to dive into season 2, episode 6 or whatever, like you don't want to know anything. Hey man, that's totally cool. I dived into Pathfinder without knowing anything, and we made a podcast out of it. So you can do that kind of stuff. I'm totally cool with it. Totally cool with it. So yeah, if you're a new listener, just checking in for Josh, welcome, and we are so glad you are here. We are playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and if you're a D&D player, don't freak out, don't get scared if you don't know anything about Pathfinder, because both Pathfinder and D&D 5e originate from D&D 3.5, so you will recognize a lot of the terms and will have no trouble following along. If there's any nitty-gritty details, you could just enjoy the story. It's very similar. And if you want to try Pathfinder for yourself, after listening to this, just know all the rules and stats are available for free on the Archives of Nethys website, and you can create a character also for free from any source book using digital tools like Path Builder, and I'll link all this below. And Path Builder is a lot like D&D Beyond, so if you just want to check it out, it's an awesome game. Highly recommend it.
And you guys have a great episode where you go through a lot of this.
Yeah.
Like
from D&D
transitioning.
5e to
That's a
Pathfinder.
great
Yeah.
episode. Yeah. So check that out.
And we're also great to listen to because because we played a ton of 5e and switched to Pathfinder, and sometimes some of that creeps in, and it's okay. You can just try out a new game and you can make an abomination for a while like we did and just have fun. You can literally
make a podcast.
publish it. Yeah, you can confidently publish something that you
let
are
you
not
do
100%
that?
on the rules. Yeah, they let you do it. There's the internet.
It's not
if
even
you have a
illegal.
mic. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you enjoy this episode or want to get caught up on the story beforehand, we have about 50 episodes, and they're usually an hour or less. So they're someone called them bite-sized episodes today, and I really we like that. You can listen to it on your drive.
Who doesn't like something
Yeah,
bite-sized?
we're bite-sized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They only turn
It should
bite-sized
be.
after Joel cuts all the crap out of it.
Yeah, after
This
Joel
is
cuts
true.
out our lip smacks. and
That's
everything.
true.
But
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
true.
if you just want to dive right in, all you really need to know is our adventure is set in the realm of Keldora, which is a solar system of 7 unique planets. Travel between these planets is made possible by ancient and mysterious landmarks called nodes. Whenever 2 nodes on 2 different planets are aligned, anyone touching the node is transported to the other. Our party, often referred to as Digsby's crew, recently liberated a remote island from the tyranny of a dark druid and have sailed to Mizivo, the elvish capital on the planet of Lorthal, in search of answers, because they recently learned they may be members of a group called the Keepers of Keldora and have absolutely no idea what that is. So most recently, upon entering the city, Tuff and Jules were hired to defend a mysterious kobold from any that may attempt to hinder their travel through a node. They were successful, and in the process, Tuff shot an unknown attacker with a sleep dart, enabling the kobold to escape. And it turns out the man he shot, guess who that is, has since tracked him down at an outdoor cafe and has confronted him and the rest of the party as they were blissfully sipping on their coffee. So I'm going to kick it over to you guys. So you guys looked over at who I described as a pompous, chest puffed out, puffy shirt guy, but I'm going to kick it over to Josh to fully describe the glory of this
Here we
character
go.
as they would perceive him.
Let's do it.
So he has a very silky blouse. It's has very fine. It is very fine clothes. This is the clothes of a nobleman. Very well trimmed beard, thicker mustache than kind of 5 o'clock shadow on the rest of his face. Long flowy hair, dark hair, and he walks as if he is supposed to be wherever he walks.
Well
And he comes over to you guys are at an outdoor cafe.
Yep.
humanoid human. So
A humanoid human.
I
got
also
it.
say I'm a
Human.
humanoid when I tell people
No
I'm human. I'm a
pointy
humanoid
ears.
human, as opposed to the four-legged human.
He walks over and I think he'll just sit down at the table.
Ooh.
Pull up a chair,
Confidently.
sit down, say, "Hello, my friends. I hope it is all right if I join you for a drink, perhaps?" And I will wave over somebody over, maybe to like get us some drinks.
The teenage elf that has been giving you drinks just like splashes down Tuff's black coffee. It kind of splashes onto the tablecloth like he doesn't care. Oh, good. Another one. What do you want?
Forgive me, you may not know me. I'm Don Reynard. Sorry, let me try one more time.
Whoa,
One more time.
I like his voice.
You good.
I did not, a lot of times I'll talk in the character voice for a long time before I record. I didn't do that today,
Dude,
so
you're
we'll
good,
see.
man. We do retakes all the time.
This is great.
I'll look at the server and kind of a side eye to the party, and I'll say, "I am Don Reynard Quijano de los Nubes. You may have heard of me. I am very well known. But please,
No,
if you
no,
would,
I haven't,
serving
no.
person, get us a round of drinks on me.
Oh, of coffee?
Coffee is very good, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, like, what is it? Just black for everyone, or like, are you guys good with that? Yeah, just brought you coffee.
Okay, then refills, please."
This guy hasn't even. Whatever. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah.
I'm ignoring them now. The the serving person. I'm ignoring them.
He just sighs and walks off.
Anyway.
It's like, I just brought him.
Tuff is just gonna kind of put his hand up to the side of his head and kind of turn away, like he's trying to conceal himself or just not
Can I
make himself
can I
obvious
roll
at
to
the
see
table.
if I notice that?
Yeah, go ahead. Perception.
18.
Yeah, I'd say you notice that, just knowing Tuff so well, that he is a little uneasy by this person being here, and then of course, like Waltz and Dax are just like, "Hey, what's up?" You know.
I'll take the dart in my hand and put it on the table. You hear maybe like a little clink of it, and look around, and I'll say, "I have not seen you in Kyria for quite a while. You seem like you're new people here, and I'm surprised that you do not know me. But if you're here to do wrong, or to aid the evil betrayer Raul Vega, I'm afraid I'll have to kill you all. But not after drinks. We'll have our drinks first." And I'll sit back.
Yeah, we're not here to kill Raul. That was not our mission, so.
Well, I am going to
We're
kill
not here
Raul.
to have at it. We're not here to kill anybody.
Tough. What's going on?
Why
Perhaps you
asking
could
me?
explain, Roboto Gato.
That's awesome.
Yes. Any new listeners here? Tuff is a robotic cat.
I'll toss the dart onto the table.
Tuff just kind of rubs his forehead. I don't know what you're talking about.
Perhaps you could explain.
Perhaps I could, and then I'll shift a finger gesture to like the rat gal, and have her bring me a guitar.
Oh boy.
She's like,
Jules takes out his ocarina.
She's picking her
Battle of the
teeth with
Bands.
a toothpick, and she's like, "What?
The guitar. Bring me my guitar.
What guitar?
I have a guitar.
Where?
I thought I had you carrying it. I thought you were supposed to carry it for me.
Oh, is that what that was?
So I can play
Oh,
music.
hold on, 1 second. I threw it in the bush. I'll be right back." She just sort of jogs over to a bush. And she's like digging around in it. You just kind of hear like
I
guitar
apologize.
strings being plucked as it's being pulled out of the branches, like twigs are catching on it. She kind of shakes it out, dumps some things out of it. Here, tosses it to you.
I catch it, and I will do my best to tune what is left of the guitar.
Yeah, sorry, there's some twigs in there too.
This is probably a good point to notice that though I am dressed very nobly, I am very travel worn. Like my shirt is very frayed at the edges, discolored at different places, like it may have not been washed, and I do smell of the road. But he'll strum some fingers on the guitar and say, "I come from a faraway land. It is better than any place you have probably ever visited, but you will never go there." And I keep playing. I'll look up into the sky and I'll go, "Sobre el arco iris," and then I just start launching into Spanish version of Over the Rainbow.
Oh, incredible.
That's not copyrighted, is it? You're not trying to bring us down, are you, Josh?
He's trying to take us down from the inside.
But I don't know.
This was
do
a
you guys
terrible
let me play-
mistake.
Do you guys let me play the whole
cut it,
song?
cut
Because
it.
I'll roll a performance. I'd love to roll a performance.
Yeah, roll performance. I feel like they're just looking at each other and whispering like while you play the song or something.
Jules wants to know how good this performance is before he says anything.
And could I? It's a combat. Is it a combat? Is fascinating performance a combat thing?
No, you can fascinate someone right now if you want.
Because I
can
would
attempt
love
to
to
do that.
fascinate the four of them.
Okay.
It is an
Roll it up.
expert trait. Okay, 21.
All right, what are your guys' will saves?
Ooh,
I've got +8.
plus 10, but
7.
not quite enough.
What about you, Waltz?
I'm sorry.
Darren accidentally
before it-
deleted his character.
He did before the session.
So Renard starts to play this song, and maybe at first you're like, what is this guy like doing? And you're maybe kind of like all about to whisper to each other, or maybe giving little glances about like, should we get out of here? What should we do? But then suddenly this music becomes very entrancing. You're very moved by the emotion and the passion. Even the rat folk that was just picking their teeth like lowers the toothpick and their jaw is agape, and you're all just fascinated by this music and listen all the way through to the end.
I lean over to whoever I'm sitting by, and I just whisper, "I hate him." as I wipe a tear away from my eye.
You whispered that to the gnome. You whispered that to Duke, who's sitting here, and he's like, why? That was a good song. Who are you?
Shut up. I'm enjoying this.
Okay. Me too.
Tuff will lean over to Jules and say, "Me too, but for different reasons."
Dax is just staring longingly into his coffee, watching the kind of swirl as he thinks of home, listening to this beautiful melody.
God, Reynard, that was incredible. My buddy here, Jules, he plays music too. Jules, hey, tell him.
Oh, another performer.
I've never met anyone that could play an instrument like I can.
It is a simple thing, and I'll toss the guitar back to the rat folks.
She wasn't looking, and it just like hits her in the chest and then lands on the ground. And she's like, dang.
I'll stand
Picks it
up
up.
and I'll just applaud him.
Please. No applause is necessary because I may have to kill you, unfortunately, even though you are a fellow man of music.
Duke's eyes are just super wide, like looking back and forth, and he's sipping on the coffee like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This guy might kill you.
Guys, by the way, this is my friend Duke.
Hi, yeah, don't mind me.
Duke, this is Tough and Jules, and I don't really
Yeah, why
know
don't you
this
just all
one
say
here.
what class and race you are or ancestry, because if there's probably new people listening to this conversation. Sips the coffee. Maybe just describe
look,
yourselves and like what you look like a little bit real quick.
You all seem like decent fellows. I would hate to kill you, but truly it is the Robato Gato I have. Tuff, I think you said is his name. He is the one I wish to question.
Look, Guy. Can I call you Guy?
You can call me whatever you wish. I cannot say it's what you should do.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're just in here minding our own business, right, guys?
Yeah, except
Right.
you shot him
yeah.
in the neck, remember? You look over and see the rat folk teenager girl.
You did what?
Oh, did you?
Forgive me, my friend. What is your name again?
The name's Zoki.
Zoki, yes, thank you. My friend Zoki here speaks truly, and you should not judge her just because she is a disgusting creature.
Is your friend?
You see her kind of like look a little taken back, but then just like shrug, like whatever.
That thing's your friend?
I could say the same to you. Look like a garbage can. Continues picking her teeth.
Listen. We can spend the rest of the day saying who did what and who's trustworthy. Where's your proof, friend?
I require no proof. I only require my blade. And if you have anything to do with the foul betrayer, Raul Vega, the Skyblade, I will have those words from you now, before you are dead. And I will also know what you know about the Flor de Vida.
Tuff will stand up from his chair. If you're looking for a fight, I don't like your odds. And I'll kind of gesture to the rest of the group.
Tough, sit down, calm down. It's fine.
He started it, Jules.
I know. Okay, listen, Don Renard, was it?
It is my name.
I can assure you that me and my companions here have never heard of this Raoul or have any association with him.
If this is true, then why did your friend aid a fellow of his escaping through a node that could go to anywhere?
Look, it's clear the jig is up. Yeah, I had a job, but to be fair, I didn't know that guy, and I don't know you. I was just cashing in.
Jules will sit down and put his face in his hands.
you will do work and not know what it is about, not know who it is for, and what kind of effect it will have upon the world.
We're pirates.
Well, when a big enough purse is involved, and I slap Jules on the back, right, buddy?
I'm going to turn to Waltz because he has been pretty generous and kind with me here. I must say you have the look of a hero, but your friends here do not. Are you indeed a group of lecherous pirates seeking to aid and help those who would do ill to this world?
No, the thing is, they used to be pirates, but they're not pirates anymore. I'm in exile from my country. Dax is from Dracus, and he escaped here not too long ago. We're all kind of in different phases of our life now. We're all together. We're just kind of adventurers.
I'll put my hand on his massive shoulder to kind of like almost be like, oh, he's big. He's really big.
Thank you. You're pretty big yourself.
Oh, thank you. I am also someone who has been cast out from their home, and I am chasing after whoever may have the Flora de Vida, and currently I was this close to capturing it from that lizard person that you were saving as I was going to grab it, get it, return to my home, and now I cannot. It has gone to who knows where through a node that I cannot track or follow.
So you're saying you need this Flora de Vida?
That is the one.
What is that?
How can I explain? It is beautiful. It is beauty itself. Magic, powerful magic, old magic of the beginning of the ages. You can say it is a part of me almost. Part of my home. Without it, we are doomed to die. Perhaps this entire world is doomed to die if it cannot be returned.
Say what? You see the gnome just like lean forward. What the heck? You guys are nuts.
Guys,
Forgot he was here.
I gotta be honest, that sounds like a pretty big deal, right?
Sure, yo no speako Elvish, or whatever words you're talking about over there, but that kind of sounds like your problem.
It is my problem. It has always been my problem, and because of that, you have become part of my problem.
That's true, you did shoot him with the dart so that guy could get away with that object.
Perhaps I could show you some mercy if you would only tell me who it was that told you to aid that villain.
If I tell you, will you leave us alone?
Perhaps. Depends on whether or not you can be trusted, and I would not believe that you're one to be trusted. You must convince me, my friend, I'm sorry. Otherwise, we will have to fight, and there is no chance for you to win.
Whether you trust me or not, I couldn't care less if you know his name or not, so take it for what it's worth. But his name is Volthorn. Or at least he said his name was Volthorn. According to our kobold friend here, that's a lie.
Yeah, his name's not Volthorn. Forgive me, I've been a little quiet. Did you say Skyblade earlier?
To be honest, I did not know if you could speak, so it is a bit of a shock, and sorry for not acknowledging you further. Your face is
he's
not
a full
one I would...
sentient creature.
Yes. It is a strange world. You are not strange, it's just who you are, but it's new to me, so okay.
Right.
I certainly didn't expect to see a bipedal humanoid today.
But what part does the Skyblade play in this?
Raul Vega is the most villainous betrayer from my home, one of my kinsmen. He took the Flora de Vida and is the reason for the woes of the entire world, really. But also, he is the reason I am not with my wife and children right now. And perhaps I am even facing dishonor. I do not know.
Yeah, we just had to defeat a guy named Sindor, kind of like that. He was a real jerk.
Hearing the information about Raul, Dax will just kind of sulk back in his chair, thumbing his coffee. He hasn't really stopped staring at it ever since the song started. And then eventually pipe up, yeah, Volthorn, that's not his name. Volthorn was a dragon back on Dracus, long time ago.
Dragon?
So, my guess would be, hey, Tough, what color was he? Was he blue?
Oh, he was blue, all right.
Yeah, so he's probably a follower of Volthorn. Didn't want you to know what his real name was.
It would seem you are not so far from your parenting days as you may have wished.
Listen, friend. We've told you all we know. I know you have no reason to trust us or believe us. It was simply a matter of us taking a job, and I'll give a slow look to Tough.
Tough will just shrug his shoulders.
In order to help us achieve our own goals. If there's anything we can do to make this right, to help you in finding a way to this Fleur de Vida or Raoul, let us know.
What are your goals? Is there something you seek? Perhaps we could help one another.
That's kind of our business.
Tough, come on.
What? We don't know the guy, Jules.
I'll look at the rest of the group.
I sang you my entire story.
It was beautiful, man.
We've been on quite a journey. We haven't known each other very long, but we've certainly bonded and created our own crew. The way that we met was under mysterious circumstances, to say the least. We're simply looking for some answers. We were on our way to Controsi. We have limited information, and we're hoping that maybe we could flesh out some of this information there.
The library maybe get you what you want, but for answers about the world, only the keepers know.
The keepers.
Did you say the keepers?
Can you all roll me a perception check?
You bet I can, Zach.
This is sweet. Josh, look at you.
Perception check.
Holy
Perception check.
moly! Let's see
Dropping
what's
some
about to
lore on
happen.
us. Tough
That is
got a
18.
22.
21.
I got a 36.
12.
Not an 18 like I said a moment ago.
All of you sort of lean forward in your seats as he mentions the keepers so confidently, as if he knows them. And you're all captivated. You're thinking of all these questions that are surfacing in your mind, eager, just fumbling over your words, but tough as you begin to do the same. Something catches your eye through the gaps between your comrades over by the trees that populate this park you're at. As you see a manhole cover lift up and be pushed off to the side, and a couple purple grayish fingers grab hold and start to pull itself up as you see some glowing green eyes appear, and you begin to say something but look just off to the side and see a figure at a nearby table suddenly stand up, and their hood falls down, and you see once again purple gray skin and their fingers outstretched towards Reynard and fire a beam. I had you all roll initiative for perception. Oh my god.
He got us.
Perception.
He got us.
Bamboozled.
Crap, now I have to remember how to fight.
That's it.
And
I'm
Taryn has to
doxing
create
you.
his character really quick.
That wasn't a that wasn't a
done.
nasty
We're
move.
good.
That was a
Let's go.
Zacher nasty move.
Oh, Zach.
Oh, that was a nasty pun.
I've been hanging on to that while listening to every episode of your guys' podcast.
Someone needs to call me you're nasty all the time, yeah. And as this cloaked figure stands up and sticks out their fingers, you see dark black tendrils expand from their fingers, weaving through the crowd as people dive from their tables. And as it flies towards the table, can Dax and Reynard roll me a fortitude save?
Not my best skill. I got a 19 though, so that's cool.
Yes, sir.
18.
These tendrils pierce through the back of Dax with ethereal force, not penetrating his skin necessarily, but just ripping through his body, going through the other side and striking Reynard as well in the chest. And you each take 8 negative damage, and as the tendrils rip out and return back to this attacker, you just see blood start to appear on your chest and realize you are bleeding, so you will take persistent bleed damage at the end of your turn, pending your checks.
Ugh. And Dax will just look down at his chest, grasping it as the blood sort of pools under his shirt.
And that'll take us to Tough.
What the heck? Tough on instinct then is just gonna whip around and take a look at this creature, draw his weapon, and cock it back, fire off a shot.
All right, roll an attack roll.
That's a 25.
Tough. I sort of just picture you like lifting a foot and kicking off the table a little bit to tilt the chair back just enough to peek around the person sitting next to you and pull the pistol out of your crossbody holster, but hold it tight to your chest, not even aiming down the sights, and just fire a shot. And it strikes this figure. Can you roll me damage?
I got a 5.
All right. The bullet hits the target, and you just see puffs of smoke come off of their body as they twist a little bit and hold at their side and look down, and their eyes flare green.
And then Tough will reload his gun and call out to Dax. Dax, what are you doing? Snap 2.
And that will take us to Dax, actually.
Yeah. And then I will put my hands at the ready, clench my fists, and throw out a ray of frost at the being that attacked me.
Okay, yeah, roll it up.
I nat 20'd.
Oh,
nice.
Let's go.
That's going to be a crit, but okay, so any new listeners in Pathfinder, if you beat a DC by 10 or more, that's a crit, but we also like to add to that from our D&D roots, and if you roll a nat 20, you get to double the damage die and add one more, because nat 20s are fun, so that's how we do it.
All right, so on Ray of Frost, a critical success, double the damage, and then they will also get a minus 10-foot status penalty for its speed for 1 round.
Nice, okay.
Dope.
All right, roll it up.
That's 17 frost damage.
Nice.
Holy
he
cow.
dead?
Cold damage, excuse me.
All of you see Dax clench his fists, and you start to see his veins glowing blue, and his eyes might even flare for a moment, and then he sticks his palm out, and anyone sitting between him and the target just move to the side as the beam flies between you, and you see the target try and cast its cloak up, but then it strikes and cakes them in ice and dissipates some of the shadowy wisps, and it stumbles backwards. Yeah. Lets out a weak moan. And is that the end of your turn, or do you have one more action?
That was 2 actions, so for my last action, I'll try to like kick the table over, hide behind it.
Take cover, basically, or are you taking
Yeah.
cover or hiding?
Yeah, hiding because it's stealth-based.
All right, you guys just see Dax shoulder the table forward, all of the coffee spills everywhere, and roll me a stealth check.
Not my best work. 18.
All right. Dax, you put your back against this table, hoping to hide anything on the other side, and as your back's against it, you look up and see crawling on the roof of this cafe is this creepy, smaller-looking version of this other creature that you're fighting. It looks like maybe it was once a halfling or maybe a gnome or something. Just purpley gray skin, its eyes also flaring green. It grins and you just see black in its teeth, and it whips out a dagger and it's gonna throw it downward at you. No! And the dagger misses, so you move your head just in time and it stabs into the wood, and then it is going to try and throw a second dagger at you.
So they beat
And-
my hiding. They saw
Yeah.
me anyway. Like,
And also misses, and it stabs into the table once again, and that'll take us to Jules. Oh, and you will take persistent damage, so can you roll me a DC 15 flat check, so no modifiers.
not 20 again!
Oh,
my
nice,
God.
okay.
Nice, Joel.
I can just waste. I'd rather do damage, but I'll take it.
Those are good
So you
dice.
just look down and wipe the blood that was appearing on your chest, and it is no longer there. You feel like somehow you're able to resist whatever magical experience you're going through that was causing you to bleed, so you will not take any persistent bleeding damage.
Nice.
I'll take us to Jules.
Let's go, Jules Z.
Okay, so the one that was sitting kind of behind us that got Dax in the back is still up, right? He's just
Yep.
looking pretty
He's
beat
just
up.
chilly.
Yeah.
I want to look around. Can I make a perception check to see if there's any like coffee pots or coffee?
heck
Yeah,
yeah.
coffee pots. That's
Sure.
the word I'm
Yeah.
looking
Roll
for.
it up. Try and splash some hot coffee on him.
18.
Sure, yeah. You look around frantically and you see at a table nearby there is a coffee pot.
Okay, so I'm going to use my last 2 actions to cast
Ooh,
telekinetic projectile.
Yeah.
Nice.
He always looks for cool stuff for this.
I know.
And I'll,
It's my
I'll
favorite
shoot
skill.
it. I'll shoot it at that guy.
All right. Roll it up.
Ooh, yeah. 28.
That hits. Roll damage.
That's 13 damage.
Dang. For real?
Plus whatever you're going to give me for the coffee, because that's got to come into play.
Right, you go really cold to really hot. That'll crack things.
Dang it, it was iced coffee. He just goes,
This creature's looking down, and it's ripping shards of ice off of it, moving its arm as snow and frost falls off of it, and it looks up just in time to see a coffee pot whizzing through the air and clink him really hard in the forehead, and its neck snaps back. It almost sounds like its neck broke, and its head remains backwards for a while, and then it slowly leans back forward, and you hear bones
Ew.
cracking and crunching.
gross.
No me gusta, as
And-
someone might say.
As Don Renard might say.
Oh my gusta. And then anyone who hasn't really acted yet or fighting, maybe like with your backs towards where the cafe was, you hear lots of screaming coming from in the cafe and people like running out of all the doors. And then stepping out of the doorway is a much larger figure again. Purpley gray skin, holding a massive sword with chips all over it. Eyes flaring green, dragging the sword through the dirt, lifts it up on its shoulder, and then is just going to swing it downward at Reynard. No! Carol. And Reynard, you look up and see this massive sword coming down at you. Oh, man. Oof.
My AC is 22.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, Josh.
Yeah, it was really fun, dude. Thanks for playing.
It's so
dude.
funny. I'm so used to D&D, so it's like I have like over 60 hit points to start with.
Right.
And in my head,
Oh,
that's a whole lot. Like, but in
Right, that's like-
Pathfinder, maybe it's not as much as.
Right. Exactly.
It was more so just Zach's face. When he
So a
makes that face, you know it's not
34
good.
is a crit on. Welcome to Pathfinder, bro. Hey, can I play with you guys? Yeah, I'm gonna kill you for a session.
My body is ready.
And as this sword comes down, you dive backwards the best you can, but it slashes deep across your chest and deals 28 damage.
Okay.
And then the sword sticks into the mud, and he rips the sword back up. And you just see black goo falling out of his mouth. What do you want, Taryn? You look eager. What's
I
up?
wanted to use my liberating step to reduce that damage that Reynard takes by 7.
Save
Dude,
that.
hey,
Nice.
bro. So you are close to Reynard. Man, you guys are
We're pretty
bros.
close.
You're closer
We're
now,
Closer,
that's for
closer,
sure.
We're closer than the dude that hit him. You know.
Dude,
Never
so
used it on
21
me,
damage.
Josh. I'll just say that.
By the way, someone was like, just found our show like on YouTube, and they've been like commenting on some episodes, and it was like episode 10, and they're like, finally, the champion uses their like liberating strike or something. I was like, yeah, we don't know what abilities we have, bro. We don't know what we're doing. All right, and that'll take us to Renard.
How dare you ruin my blouse? Is this big thing like within 5 feet of me then?
Oh yeah, he's right in front of you.
Can I try to do something performance-y?
Sure, yeah.
I would like to climb to get some. I don't like being on the ground, and either. But I like to think that maybe the flipped table is to my back, and
Sure.
and this
Ooh.
big guy's on their side, and I'd like to do a little bit of like a parkour, like jump off of the big guy, off of the table, and try and get onto
Do
the
it, bro.
roof.
Yeah. Okay.
So that would be a performance check. Yes.
Yeah.
I rolled a 19, so that's a 30. Dirty 30.
Okay.
Dang.
30.
All right.
Heck yeah.
So
Thank you,
right after you
dice.
say you
Thank you,
ruined my
dice.
blouse, and this massive brute is looking at you with black goo in between his teeth, looking bloodthirsty, you simply jump, kick 1 foot off of his chest as he rears backwards, backflip, land on the table. The table wobbles back and forth, and you look down, and Dax is looking up at you in between 2 daggers that just missed him. And then you leap forward and front flip and land on the canopy over the front door of the cafe.
Jules looks up and says, I hate him.
DM, do I officially get a panache for that?
Oh yeah, that's panache. That's panache AF, dude.
Okay, so that does a whole bunch of things for me. So it gives me 15 to my movement speed. So that's a
Okay.
45 now.
This is
Nice.
so cool. I didn't know this existed. This is awesome.
It's a breakdancing archetype.
He knows how to use his character. He's unbeatable.
We've never seen anything
incredible
like this
research.
before. We've never
I
seen
get
these
a-
powers.
I get a +1 circumstance bonus to my tumble checks like tumble through or other actions that would give me panache.
Nice.
So lots of and the best thing about panache is finishers, but I gotta save that. And then I'm not sure the point total or action total that you get is a little confusing to me. So I haven't really been tracking it, but like I guess I'll draw my sword at that point. That's probably 1, right?
Yep.
And then if the performance was one and that drawing is one, then for my last one, after I get to the top, I will yell at Zoki and say, Zoki, my friend, protect my guitar.
She's like, what? She's like hiding behind a tree.
Are you kidding
With
me?
your life.
I better get paid for this.
I am a very wealthy man.
And she starts like dashing through like the crowd and everyone's screaming and like all this and like slides up to the guitar. And then Duke is just like hiding underneath like a different table, like but still like sipping coffee and just like eyes darting back and forth.
These guys are crazy.
That's it for me.
And that'll take us to the other small creepy figure that was crawling out of the manhole in the ground, and it gets to the surface and you see that people were running by it, and then they scream even more as they get near it, and he goes and then it pulls out a dagger as well, and it's just looking back and forth, and it sees like a nearby soldier that's like running up trying to help, and it just like throws a dagger and gets him right in the throat, stopping him in like mid-run, and he lands on his back, and then he pulls out another dagger and is scanning again, and then sees Reynard on top of the cafe and is going to throw a dagger at him, but this is a far throw.
Not a lot of people a big fan of this Reynard guy so far.
No joke.
Maybe he's the bad guy.
I'm
He
catching a lot of
included.
attention.
Yes.
Maybe Raul isn't so bad.
Reynard, you like just landed on the canopy and your legs are like very close together, like totally stuck landing, and you see the dagger and it's coming like right for you, and you just jump and split your legs, and then it stabs in the wall behind you and you land back down on the canopy.
Would it have critically failed?
It was a 13, so yours was 22?
Mm-hmm.
So no, it wouldn't have critically failed.
I can do
Very
a thing
close.
if an attack critically
Ooh,
fails.
ooh, very close, very close. And that'll take us to Waltz.
Dax, are you all right?
I think I'm good, man.
Good.
And I'll sprint to the big dude with the
Oh god,
flail.
you're gonna grapple him or something?
Let's go.
Well,
yes, he
how
is.
many
course he is.
sizes larger than me is he? I'm going to sprint and then try and drop kick him in the chest.
Or so push, or like, are you trying to push him, or are you trying to like just melee strike him?
Is there not a dropkick action in the
There's not a
Pathfinder?
drop kick.
You could like do both, and I could just wrap them together. Like you could run melee attack and push, and I could just wrap it all up. So you run up to this brute. Can you roll me first your unarmed strike?
Yes, I can. Ooh, 32.
Dang. Okay, so that hits.
That's a big
roll me
number.
damage. I'll describe everything at the end.
Does it critically succeed?
Actually, yes, it does. Thank you guys for asking.
Yes.
That like never
Thank
happened
you,
before. We never
Josh.
crit
Let's
by 10.
go.
Yeah, that is a
Nice.
I wouldn't have remembered to ask that. 11 damage.
Dang, that's pretty good for unarmed strike. Okay.
Yeah,
and
I'll take it.
Can you roll me an athletics check for your trip attempt?
Yes. I got a nat 20, boys.
Oh, seriously?
Nice.
Okay,
No
that's
way.
1 in
Those are
400.
high rolls
Chance of that.
tonight.
Dude, real high
Yes.
rolls tonight. Lucky dice.
Okay, so they take damage on a fall, but I'm going to double that. Like a critical success, they take damage, but because you nat 20, I'm going to double it. So can you roll me
Yes.
2d6, and I'll describe everything at the end.
Can. Okay. 9.
So Waltz, after checking on Dax, you slowly look at this brute, just feeling like this is your responsibility for whatever reason. And for not even a second do you consider pulling out your sword or shield, of course.
Now let's
because
drop.
you are Waltz, and you start heroically sprinting, you know, like where your pecs are bouncing, and you can just tell how jacked you are like while you're running. And
Yeah, thanks.
this brute slowly looks away from Reynard as he hears your footsteps coming and attempts to brace, but you too quickly jump up in the air and drop kick him hard in the chest and send him going backwards 5 feet as he falls and hits the ground, falling prone, sliding across the ground. And you just land on your back and then do that athletic thing where you like kick your feet up and then land back
Yeah, nice.
perfectly. And Duke just goes, Waltz, man, you are badass. Takes a sip from his coffee.
Thanks, Duke. I
Wait,
did
he's
it
just
because
sitting here drinking coffee.
He's underneath the table sipping coffee. He's a poor man. He travels the world. And that'll take us to another creature that crawls out of the same manhole and is going to start running up to Waltz and try and jump on his back and stab him.
I'm so tired of people stabbing me with knives.
And definitely misses. So the second you feel a hand grab your shoulder and try and climb up, you just grab their wrist and then flip them in front of you, and they just land on their feet and then shake their head back and forth and look at you. And that'll take us back to the first creature that you all attacked that has now been like caked in ice and hit with a coffee pan or whatever the heck that was.
And shot.
Yes, and you helped too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And, oh yeah, you had a cool shot. That was pretty sweet. Jules, right after you hit this creature with the coffee pot that was very focused on Reynard, you just see it slowly look at you. And its jaw like snaps back into place, and then it looks just a little more human after doing that. After everything is back in place, it just sort of calms down its physical appearance from looking like a raggedy old zombie to more human-like. And then its eyes flare green once again, and it starts to hold this dark ball of energy, almost like it's sucking in light around it. And it's charging and growing larger in its hand, and you see like green electricity dancing around the outside. And then it is going to hurl this ball at you as it corkscrews through the air and is going to attempt to strike you in the chest.
And then miss.
We'll see. Does a 21 hit you?
Yeah, I suppose.
No.
Is Jules within 5 feet?
No, I don't think so after moving and stuff.
Sorry, Jules.
That's okay. Thanks for thinking of me.
Always.
Reynard will just look down and be like, I'm glad I'm not that man.
Jules, you reached your back to try and pull your trident out or something to help you like block it, but the ball speeds up right at the end and booms towards you, hits you in the chest, and explodes with this like, darkness and electricity that almost for a moment disorients and blinds everyone for just like a brief second, and then sucks inward and continues to electrocute Jules, and you fall to a knee for a brief moment as you take 20 damage.
Oh my god. You
Yeah.
gotta kill that guy. Yesterday.
And then you maybe shake your head for a moment and then are able to stand back to your feet as the last few sparks of green necrotic-like energy dance around you. And that'll take us to Tough.
Tough is going to re-engage with the guy that just attacked Jules. Hey, Ugly, forget who you were fighting? And then he's gonna protract his claws, cast Ignition, and take a swipe at this creature.
Roll an attack roll.
Oh, crap. I nat one.
Uh-oh.
All right, roll me a percentage die.
This is where it ends for
love
Tough.
These.
We've seen this before.
Tiny number first. 16.
Nice.
God.
Uh-oh.
Stop making me roll percentage dice, Zach.
Well, then stop rolling that one.
Okay, so since we have some new listeners, I'm just going to explain kind of like how we do nat ones. Basically, there's not necessarily a rule in Pathfinder that when you roll nat ones, like something awful happens, but it's kind of something we've enjoyed as a group because we kind of enjoy reacting to like the complete swing of events where like something unpredictable happens. But what we do when you roll nat one is we have people roll a percentage die, and like say you rolled your percentage die and you got 100%, I'll flip that around maybe, or like a 90% and give you a critical success. But then I explain it in a way where you like messed up, but something really useful happened because of it. But then also if you roll like really bad on the percentage die, then I punish you like pretty hard and something sucky happens. But if you do like, okay, maybe I'll just call it a wash and it was like a normal failure. But he rolled a 16%, which is awful. So Tough, as you sprint up with your ignition in your hand, charging flames spouting out that you're about to unleash on this figure. Right as you go to swipe, you see it look at you and its eyes flare green, and then suddenly your fire turns green in your hand, and then it explodes in your palm. Deal the damage to yourself, bro.
Ow!
What do you roll? Let me roll it.
Oh, dang it. So I guess we're considering this a melee attack, so it would be increase the damage dice to 6s, so it would be 4d6.
Oof. That's like your normal.
46?
That's your normal damage for it.
I got it.
46.
So as the green fire erupts and engulfs you, you take 11 damage as you start to try and pat the flames off that are
Hot.
getting into your
what are you
electronics
doing?
and
You're
in
not
the
helping.
gaps in your armor and kind of into your system a bit as you try and exhaust it out.
Stop messing around.
Well, I wasn't supposed to do that. And then for my last action, I'm just going to say, you jerk, and I'm going to shove him over and try to trip him.
Nice.
All right, roll it up.
25.
Nice. Okay, so you're trying to trip them?
Yes.
Okay. So you maybe channel a little bit of that energy that was coursing through your system that backfired on you, and you use it to power a powerful kick as you sweep the leg of this figure, and they fall backwards, landing on their tailbone. Their head snaps back, hits the ground, and they are knocked prone.
Haha, suck on that.
Suck on that. And that'll take us to Dax.
Let's go, Dexy.
I'm gonna pull out my striking short sword.
Yeah, whip
And
it out, man.
how am I within melee range of any of them, or do I need to move to reach any?
You
of
would have
these
to
prone
move for
folks?
all of them because you kind of try to take cover behind that table. But the first
Fair
one,
enough.
the one that Tough just knocked over, is the furthest, about 20 feet from you, and then the other one is 10 feet from you.
Then I will go ahead and move to close the distance between me and that prone one, and attack with a sneak attack. I assume they are flat-footed because they're prone, correct?
Yep.
Brought to you by Sneak Attack, our
Yeah.
episode sponsor.
That is an 18 to hit.
And which one are you attacking again?
The prone one that Tough just knocked over.
Okay, so you run up to go and attack this one. You pull out the short sword, sort of tossing it in the air and then grabbing the handle with the blade pointed down, and then try and just stab downward at this creature. And at the last moment, it lets out a yell like, yeah, and just rolls to the side, and you stab into the soft grass and rip your sword back out. Do you have any actions remaining?
Yeah, Dax is just gonna try again. Yeah, stab right down into the ground with the multi-attack penalty. That is a non-natural 20.
That does hit because they're flat-footed and take a -2 status penalty to their AC.
Yes.
So that
Dirty
hits.
work. Dirty work.
Very fantastic.
14, 15. So 15 piercing damage and plus sneak
Okay.
attack. 10 precision damage for the sneak attack.
Nice. So it rolls, and then you bring the sword up over your head again, let out a yell, and stab it into its stomach. You feel your blade go all the way through, connecting with the dirt beneath it, and it goes with its mouth open, and then you see the glow in its eyes go away, and then you feel your sword start to rumble and light emanating from the wound you just gave them, and they explode.
Oh no!
I saw that
With
coming.
necrotic energy, and that is anyone within 10 feet, which includes Tough.
No!
Somebody had to be the first to find it out, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. The old guinea pig.
You got him, though. Can you both roll me a fortitude save?
Yes.
Uh-oh. That's a 16.
Okay. Would you get Tough?
Uh-oh. 13.
What is it? Ryan's about to be on character 3 here soon.
Okay, so you both are enfeebled 2, which means you take a -2 status penalty to any strength-based checks, so like melee attack rolls included. And you are slowed 1 for 1 minute, which means you have 1 less action per round for 1 minute.
Lame.
Wow. A minute?
As you feel this weakness just overtake
That's so
your
many
body
rounds.
as this dark energy surges through you. And that'll take us to the smaller creature that is on the roof of the cafe just behind Reynard. And it jumps down onto the canopy with Reynard holding a dagger upside down, kind of tossing it in between each hands as it's sizing up Reynard, looking at his
We can
footwork.
dance.
And it raises its dagger above its head to go for a stab, and as it does so, Reynard, you see the light glisten on the blade and can tell it is poisoned. And it is going to swing the dagger down at you and miss, and it lets out a yell He's going to slash a second time.
It didn't miss by 10, did it? Did it miss by 10?
Nope. But this time it did on its second miss.
Nice.
I disarm it.
So, oh, seriously?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
So it goes to
Nice.
swipe its blade, and you just whip your sword and slit its wrist just ever so slightly, and the dagger goes flying off from the canopy and stabs into the
Awesome.
dirt. And then you see it padding around its belt looking for another dagger, and that'll take us to Jules.
All right. I was looking forward to getting my revenge on that one, but my buddies took care of it. So I turned to the big guy. How far away is he? And is there a friend within 5 feet of him?
Yes, he's 10 feet, and Waltz is within 5 feet of him.
Jules will turn to him. He'll look him up and down. He'll say, "You infect my eyes." And then I'll cast Mirror Image, which creates 3 illusory images of myself that swirl about in my space.
And they all do the
Just
peck dance,
giving
right?
some extra. Yeah, they all do the peck dance.
Song goes.
And potentially distract and miss me if I'm attacked.
Well, you haven't used this since
So-
you fought that turtle folk that was like loading
Yes.
cannons and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. And if I remember right, I think I take my ocarina out and I do a little
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
a piercing sound
right.
to create these images of myself. Then I'll use my last action to take my trident out.
All right, so you let out the piercing notes from the ocarina, and 3 more of you appear and sort of swirl around for a brief moment, like stuttering, kind of like when you're at like a football game and they play on the jumbotron, like the cups moving around, and you got to track like what item is underneath. That's basically does that. Like, which one's the real
we're
one?
just dancing.
Yeah.
It's like Three Amigos, the scene where they first get there and they're
Exactly.
just shuffling
They're
around
like,
each
we
other.
just
That's
went to a Broadway show. And then you reach.
Exactly. I mean, none of you would know, but I would.
And then you reach over your back and you pull out the trident and then flick it, extracting it, and all of your illusionary versions do the same. And you see some of the creatures tilting their head side to side, confused. Oh, does Reynard
Do a
take
little
notice to that?
I kind of
panache?
hate him right now.
Oh, how the turntable.
Perfect.
Love it.
And that'll take us to the brute that was just knocked over, that slowly stands to its feet, kind of like rolls onto an elbow and then pushes off with its hand and stands up, and you hear its bones cracking as it does it. And it looks up at
he's
Reynard.
30.
Yeah, exactly. He looks up at Reynard, and then for some reason you can tell it just hates Waltz more now, and slowly looks at Waltz. And lifts this massive sword above its head, and you see it starts to glow black. It's like an oxymoron almost, like it's sucking in light around it, but giving off black energy as well. And it swings at you. Does a 19 hit you?
Negative.
That's about as bad as it can
Yes.
roll. That's crazy. So it goes to bring the sword down, and you can tell it's like charged with some sort of energy, almost like you can't have it strike anything. So you run up and meet him, and then put up your hands and grab both of its wrists and just stop its strike mid-swing, kind of like Captain America when he stops Thanos' punch and he's just yelling at him. And you're like screaming at each other, and then you just see sparks flying off the sword as the energy is escaping it, and then disappear entirely, and you're just locking eyes with this creepy figure in the center of this park. And that'll take us to Reynard.
How many bad guys are left?
So there's the one on the canopy right next to you.
Yep.
There is the one
The big
that
boy.
Waltz is locked with, and then there are the 2 that were throwing daggers kind of on the flanks and making their way towards you all.
The ones like casting magic, are they still around?
Yeah, it seems like this big brute has some sort of magic.
Magic?
That you can detect. Yeah.
Do I detect like sentience? Like I'm trying to, because I can screw with their concentration. with
Yeah, they
my-
do seem to be able to like make decisions, like seeing
Okay.
how he prioritized Waltz and things like that.
On the canopy here, is there a space where if I were to move 10 feet, my opponent would not be able to stay on the roof if they followed me? Like I would stay on the roof and they
Yeah.
would fall off the side? My whole deal is I can kind of lure them into my dance
Oh, you're
and kind
saying
of
can you stand up off to the side?
and guide them, and if I they walk with me in 10 feet is if I get a critical success, and then
yeah.
if I'm looking for a space where it's like, where it's like the road keeps going for me, but it doesn't keep going for them, and so like they're following me,
sure.
and then
yeah.
they drop.
Yeah, maybe
That's-
like on the like gutter or something.
Yeah,
Almost
like
have
the
a-
like
like a
the
lit- yeah.
there's like a wall that continues on to the next building or something, and
Yeah.
this is on the edge or so. I don't know.
No, you're good. For a second, I was like, I don't think Josh knows how ground works. Can I be not on ground, or can I be on ground but you not? Yeah.
I also I feel like I should clarify that I have a feat that lets me like do combat normally while climbing. I'm a combat climber, so
Dude, you are fancy, bro.
okay. So then I'm gonna try and lure him into the leading dance and
Yeah.
make that perform check against his will save DC
All right.
or his
you
will
are.
Dance
DC.
away.
That would be a dirty 20 for me.
Against his will.
And on a success, I
Okay.
can move him 5, but a crit is what I'm hoping for. I don't know that I'm going to get that with a 20.
That is a success. But
Okay.
not a critical success. Okay.
It's unfortunate that you lost your weapon because you now are mesmerized by my incredible grace and speed and and then he'll fall and after he falls, I'm going to like just kind of I'll whip my sword and kind of activate the magical thing in it that makes it loose and coil it into like a whip. Put it at my side and I'll do a little dance and kind of clap my hands and whatnot and and doing that I'm going to try and fascinating performance the other creatures that are on the ground.
All right. Roll me a performance check.
I can get up to 4.
Okay.
That is whenever there's 2 digits in both numbers I'm adding, I break. 29. I'm so used to D&D where it's single digit numbers, gang. I'm not used to
Yep.
this
Very good.
It's kind of fun,
big
isn't
math.
We get
High
big
numbers
it?
is
Feels
more
good to
fun.
get those big numbers.
Big crits, baby.
Okay, so Renard, as you kite the foe off of the canopy, as it was like looking for daggers, like confused and mesmerized by you, and then it just falls and lands on its butt, and you just see it like rolling around on the ground, and then you look back and then do your fancy dance. You see all of the other smaller ones looking up at you, tilting their heads, sort of confused as other people fighting or maybe like bumping into them, and you see them like almost not even notice that they're in the middle of a battle for a moment, and you can tell that you have done a very good job distracting with your fancy whip sword and all these crazy acrobatics that you're doing, and you have fascinated everyone that you're
All of
fighting,
them?
which gives them a negative perception,
and they cannot do
penalty to their
concentration
perception
things except
and
against
they
me.
cannot do concentration.
Nice.
That is right. So they cannot concentrate, which means certain spells and things like that they're unable to do.
Dang.
So this guy is putting on quite a show right now.
He is. I hate him.
I hate him. And that'll take us to one of the smaller figures that was on the tree line. It's sort of tilting its head and then shakes it back and forth and then is patting around looking for another dagger and is going to try and throw it at Renard. Another miss. And then another miss. So I just picture Reynard sort of like with one foot out in front and just like waving his sword back and forth and deflecting it like a Jedi as these daggers are coming at him and ding, ding, just flying off to the sides. There you go, Taryn. You don't have to put an effect in. I did it for you.
Thank you.
And that'll take us to Waltz.
Hey, Reynaldo, who are these guys?
I have no idea, Waldy, but they are dangerous.
It seems that way.
And I'm just gonna uppercut. I'm just gonna uppercut the super flail in front of me.
He just won't take his weapon out.
Nah, we're throwing hands.
Oh, I love it.
18.
You go to punch, and as you swing your fist up, you connect with the chin of this foe, but its head does not move, and you hear your own knuckles crunch when you connect with its chin, and you just shake your hand out as it looks completely unaffected by your punch.
Waltz will take out his shield and then hit him with that instead.
Across
All right.
the face if I can, and I want to do as much damage as possible.
Sure, naturally.
You have a thing that lets you like actually roll damage with your shield, right? There's like an actual ability you have.
Yes. I think it's plus. It increases it one step, so it'll be a +6 instead of, or a D6 instead of D4 if it hits. Okay. Oh, it's so close to that. 2017.
You pull the shield off of your back and then just swing it down like a pan, just trying to bash it on the head. And it just punches your shield before you're able to get like full momentum behind it, and it throws off your strike, and you do your best to like hold on to the shield. That's like the main thing you're concerned with as you wobble back and forth for a moment, and you realize you've done no damage to this brute.
This guy's tougher than I thought.
That's terrifying.
And that'll take us to the third little creepy guy running around. And you see him look over at Waltz wanting to help out this brute for a moment, and then it raises up its hand, and you see it confidently stick it out like it's going to cast a spell. And right as it's about to do so, it hears Reynard making noises up on the canopy, dancing, being magnificent, and then it just looks at him, and then the spell sort of dies out in its hand, and then it shakes its hand for a moment as it gets bumped into, and then just pulls out its other dagger, and then is going to try and instead stab Waltz in the leg. These guys cannot get a hit with a dagger, dude. Cannot hit anyone with a dagger. Waltz, as you're like regaining your balance with the shield, you kind of like spin around for a moment, transferring your momentum to face the brute again. As you do so, you just happen to swing the shield and block a dagger strike you didn't even like know was coming. And that'll take us to Tough.
Tough will look down at his body, potentially covered in some necrotic gook after the enemy before them just exploded, and he'll flick some of it off. Careful, guys. They get explodey when they die. And then Tough will look up at the canopy and look down at his feet and mumble to himself, I hope these things work. And then he's going to slap a button on the side of his hip and activate his blast boots.
Whoa, nice.
Nice.
Whoa!
So with my, I can't remember, I think it's my class, I get 3 items that I can make every day, or gadgets that I can make every day, and one of these gadgets are these blast boots. And the blast boots moderate allow me to increase the distance of my high jump by 30 feet.
Nice.
And
Heck
it can
yeah.
also increase the horizontal distance by up to 45 feet.
Ooh,
so I just
yeah.
want to get up on the high ground next to Renard.
Oh, sick, dude. Yeah, you do that. So your boots like activate and you blast out a pulse of energy and soar through the air with smoke firing out of your boots, and then just land right next to Renard on the canopy.
And then I'll take out my gun and spin it, and I'll look to Renard. I prefer the high ground.
So you're not here to fight me then?
Not yet, at least. And because I'm slowed, I've only had those 2 actions, so I'm just going to end there for now.
All right, and that'll take us to Dax, who is also slowed, so has 2 actions.
I know, it's lame. Seeing Waltz locked in combat still with this brute, Dax is gonna tumble through. He's gonna attempt to tumble through this brute to get on the other side, making that brute flat-footed. So that's an acrobatics roll.
Against what?
Reflex DC, and that is a 26.
That is a success. Not a critical success.
Yeah, it
but a
is.
success. So you slide under his legs as he's having his bout with Waltz appearing on the other side.
And Dax will sneakily, like a rogue, like the rogue he is, just stab up. Almost as he's sliding under the legs, just kind of all in one motion. Just
All right, roll it up.
oh, not quite a nat 20, but close. It is a 29 to
That
hit.
hits.
Critical?
Nope, not critical.
Okay.
But still good, Joel.
Yeah.
Don't let him bring you down.
Yeah, you
Critical
tell
in
him.
our hearts.
Exactly. You're doing
Oh,
great,
I
buddy.
rolled
You
so
just-
bad on damage. That is 13 damage. I rolled 3 of my 6s were 1s.
That's a
Hey,
lot
we'll
of
take
damage.
it.
So as you slide through, you slice its inner thigh, and a bunch of black blood spills out, and it drops to one knee for a moment, and then slowly stands back up, waning for a moment.
Dax, after doing this, is feeling just exhausted, covered in this necrotic energy, this necrotic goop. He's just feeling absolutely spent after this, and we'll look to Waltz and just kind of watching him battle this this monstrosity, put a hand to the ground, just sort of trying to catch his breath, breathing really heavily, trying to get his bearings back. And that's the end of my turn.
All right, and Tough, as you're looking over the canopy at the one on the ground, it rolls back to its feet and then just looks up, scanning the building, looking at you, knowing it needs to get up there, puts a dagger in its teeth, and then just starts climbing up the building, determined to kill. That'll take us to Jules.
Yucky.
Okay, so I took my trident out last round. I'm going to use a feat that I've not yet used called Bon Mot.
Sure.
If it's French, I don't know. B-O-N-M-O-T.
Okay.
So I'm about to launch an insightful quip at a foe, distracting them.
This better be good.
Equipped.
All right.
Okay.
So, as I raise my trident, I say, "If I had a face," I'm talking to the big guy,
Okay.
by the way. I say, "If I had a face as ugly as yours, I'd join a cult just to get a free mask." And then,
Very long. I love
Got him.
and I'll throw my trident at the big guy,
it. All right. Roll it up.
and that is 21.
You throw the trident, and just as you say your insult, he slowly turns his head, sees the trident coming, and snatches it out of the air right before it hits his face.
He's trying it now.
And then you have the retractability, right?
I do, but I just realized I forgot to do the whole bomb knot thing, what it does after I say this thing.
Okay.
Sorry. No, I roll a diplomacy check, but I have an ability that lets me use a performance instead. I'm rolling against its will DC.
Okay.
And that is 23.
23. That does win. Okay. That's a normal success.
Okay. So normal success means that he has -2 status penalty to perception and will saves for a minute.
Okay. As he has it gripped in his hand and you're surprised by his reaction and strength, you simply reach your hand back out and use your returning rune to call the trident back, and it slips through his hands and you catch it again.
Nice. So I have 1 turn left.
Okay.
Just for funsies, I'll shoot a magic missile at the guy that's climbing up the thing.
Okay.
Max damage, which is 5.
He's climbing and you just the trident comes back and you're looking at this big vanguard, and then you just side eye this one climbing and you just shoot him in the butt with one magic missile. He burns a hole in his pants. And you just see a little pale butt sticking out of its trousers with a burn mark on it.
Gotcha!
And that'll take us to the brute that looks back at Waltz after the trident slipped through its hands and is going to swing its sword at you. Does a 22 hit you?
Yeah, no, it hits me.
All right. That deals 12 damage as the sword slashes at you. You maybe move out of the way slightly. It kind of clanks off your shield and scrapes down your arm and then hits the dirt, picks the sword back up, and does a second swing. And does a 25 hit you? Yes, it does. That's with
Yes,
the penalty. And this one deals 15 damage as he horizontally swings, and you maybe try and suck backwards, moving out of the way, but it slices across your stomach. And he sort of twirls his sword in his hand a little bit, kind of seeing more confidence coming out of this otherwise lifeless creature.
Oh, geez, I'll grab my side. Actually, guys, maybe he's not that tough after all. And I'll just spit blood out to the side.
Oh, dang, Russ.
Let's go.
And that'll take us to Renard. But, Renard, can you roll me a perception check?
But of course. So that is a 24.
All right, Renard, as you're surveying the battlefield, kind of feeling the battle shifting in your favor with these comrades out of necessity, whatever they may be, you notice out of the corner of your eye some specks in the sky and look to your left at the horizon, and you see off in the distance a formation of hippogriffs flying towards you.
Oh.
You would certainly no doubt recognize them.
Smith and
Maybe not
friends.
who they are specifically. And maybe for a moment you would think these could be comrades coming to your aid. But as you continue to study them, you notice them getting into a V, which you recognize as a bombing formation coming to your exact location.
I don't want to get bombed. No.
These guys came out of
And-
a sewer, right? These bad guys.
The ones you're fighting?
Yeah.
Yes, they came out of a sewer.
Okay.
Oh gosh. Sewer
That
level.
is a fantastic.
Time to
What
moonwalk to the sewer.
do you do?
For a moment, I have a deep sadness and thought of Cervantes, who none of you know, but is a wonderful person. And then I will holler. I'll go, my friends, we have incoming, and we do not want to be on the ground when they fly overhead. How far away is the brute and my buddy Wally?
They're about 15 feet from you,
Okay.
but like below.
I got the feeling we need to get moving, and I feel like this brute is a big problem. So after I shout that out, is there a way that perhaps I could use the whip form of my blade to swing down and then turn it into a blade and perform a confident finisher on him?
I don't know how the confident finisher works. How does that?
Essentially, I deal damage even in a fail, but I get to roll 3d6 on top of my regular damage. And I
that's just
lose
like
my
a thing you can
panache
spend panache to
afterwards.
do?
Yep. So then
Oh,
I have
yeah,
no
for sure,
panache
then, yeah.
afterwards. So
All right, roll an
if
attack
it brings him to 0, I get a panache. I have a feat that would give me panache if I bring him to 0. But okay, that is a it's a dirty 20.
Dirty.
That hits because he's flat-footed, so that does hit.
Awesome. Okay, then I get my 1d6 plus 3d6,
Okay.
That's like 5d6.
and then
Yep.
Good job,
I agree.
Adam.
guys,
right?
Give him his gold
guys,
star.
I have to hold on. I rolled 3 6s and a 1. I want to take a
Dude,
picture. It's like
that's
Nice.
sick. That's awesome.
crazy.
Dude, gosh. Describe to me from how you get down from the canopy to how you kill this dude. How does Reynard introduce his badassery to Waltz?
I didn't think I would get to describe it. Hold on.
Dude, you're a special guest. They don't get to, but you get to.
Okay, I'm going to use my sword whip to like kind of cling on to the side of a maybe the railing and then swing. I want to leap off and maybe go in a round. So I'm coming at him in an arc, and then as I flip off, I want to basically angle it so that my wrap my legs around his body and stab my blade right into his face, and then kind of
sick.
ride him to the ground, and then stand over top of his downed body and remove my blade. And if that actually took him to 0, if that killed him, I still have panache.
killed him. That killed him, bro. You killed him.
Let's go. So,
Panache stays.
Awesome.
okay. Do I get the sense that the sewers would be safe from a bombing, or would that be worse? Would we just be
Oh,
under
no.
rubble?
You definitely feel like that's where you should be. That's like the
Okay.
bomb shelter. Like, the building's not going to hold up.
I will say, come with me if you want to live. I'm gonna start making my way
The
towards.
second you say that, Duke, the gnome, is just sprinting after seeing how cool you are. Like, I'm with him. Just sprinting.
And I will
Incredible.
intentionally make sure that that she's with me.
Yeah, Zoki's like, yeah,
I got you a good time. Let's go.
puts it on her shoulder. And how do you guys react to getting this command from a stranger? You just look up in the sky and see hippogriffs coming your way. Do you trust him? What do you do?
I imagine that Don Renard runs right past me as he says this. And he says, "Come with me if you want to live." And I do a double take, and then I sigh, and then I start sprinting after him, and I say, "I hate you!"
I hate you as well.
Dax isn't as spunky. He's enfeebled, he's slowed, he's struggling. He's on the struggle bus for sure. So he's going to call out to Waltz. Waltz, we gotta go. Let's get out of here. And start laboriously making his way towards the sewers.
Waltz will yell up to Tough, let's go, and I will run by and try and scoop Dax up, because I see him running pretty slow. So I'm going to try and scoop him and make...
Like a puppy, like at the nape of the neck, just kind of like pick him up. His feet are like a foot off the ground.
If that is, if
sure.
Joel allows it.
I will concede.
Tuff will just say, "This is not how this was supposed to go," and he'll slap his hip button again and blast Boots off the roof towards the rest of the gang.
So all of
Nice.
you hit the ground running towards the sewers. I picture Renard sliding to the mouth of this manhole and then just gesturing everyone inside, making sure they get inside. All of you sliding, falling into the hole. Duke, Zoki, all of Digsby's crew dives in. And Renard, you give one last look for a moment.
Do I
as you
recognize
confirm that-
anybody? Is there anybody that I know, like, or anything, any familiar faces?
You look up to the sky and you simply see the black silhouettes of these hippogriffs against the sun and bombs being dropped down to your location. Not sure yet who you can trust other than these people you just met. And you jump into the manhole as bombs pepper the park and you hear explosions erupting on the ground above as you land into the grimy sewers. And that will end our session.
Oh my goodness.
Intrigue.
With Digsby's crew +1.
I don't know how I could ever stop talking about this, guys. This is
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I know,
hold
I
on.
just-
Did no one
I
brief
really
him
think-
before he like joined like how
I
this
think-
works. Like,
That's the thing.
Yeah, what do you
talk
think?
about it.
Yeah,
do I need to hear your thoughts
He's our
about
guest.
it?
Let
It's norm. We talk
him
about
Should we
it.
all do
Yeah.
it together?
Let's
Should
talk
we
about
all
it.
just
What are you
tell
guys
Josh
talking
to
about?
shut up at the same time? Josh,
yeah.
shut up! How dare you come on to Morbus Portals and just start talking about the episode like
Yeah.
basically
Sorry,
you're some kind of
please.
guest? Like we're
Okay,
just taking it
okay.
easy on you? Oh my god. Dude,
Gentlemen, we got
ridiculous.
it.
We'll talk about it in the downtime.
We got him.
Which is for patrons where we react to the most recent episode. Man, Josh, thank you so much for joining us, man. And guess what? You're coming back, right? Or did we scare you away?
Oh,
do you
you
think?
bet your butt I'm coming back.
Okay, that's right. Yes, there will be more episodes with Josh. I love this character. We'll talk about it more in the downtime. I love this
I don't know
character.
how. I don't know how
Yeah,
maybe
you
talk
should
about it
shout
now.
about it.
Somehow I got to like feel super cool and also be like a doofy butthole. Like it's
Dude, you got to use like all of your abilities.
what a
Dude.
weird combo of experiences, but I loved it.
That was awesome. That
It's hard
whole
to
thing
pull
was so
off,
cool.
you know?
Yeah, so yeah, just what we do on the show typically at the end, I just read some comments that we like found online, just like reviews, stuff like that, just to let everyone know that we see this stuff and we really, really appreciate it. So yeah, recently we just released Jules's Pirate Shanty on YouTube. So yeah, we've been releasing things on YouTube lately. And again, this was written by Ryan, just an incredible, super awesome song, and performed by Adam and also Ryan. Like Ryan's pretty much all the backup vocals. Did you ever use any of our like I sang like you
Yeah,
asked
you
it-
guys are in
Oh, we're
there,
in it
for
technically,
sure.
but yeah, just
Yeah.
probably really really quiet. But yeah, so
Well, it's muted, but you're in there.
yeah,
You
it's
are in the
muted.
file.
It's super super cool, and I just love that like this got to be shared with everyone, and that there's like every comment is about like the work that you guys did on this, and I just think it's really really cool. So yeah, I just want to read a couple because they just made our heckin' day, right guys?
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
So first of all, we got HMO2 you fools saying a drink to my brothers is a drink to the dead with the rock on sign, and I'm pretty sure there's no one in the
Nice.
world that loves this song more than that guy, right, Joel? Like you know him in real life.
He's been waiting.
Yeah,
patiently.
he's been like, yo,
to
where is
listen
this?
to it like 6 or 7 times in a row. Just
Um,
on repeat.
He's
And
all
then-
the views on there.
And then we got Mr. Thomas Plan or something. Said so good. You guys rock. Can't wait for season 2 tomorrow. That's right. As I'm reading this, season 2 starts tomorrow. So we're coming to you from the
We're
past.
but hours away from release.
And thank you for saying you guys rock because I had nothing to do with this. So thanks for letting me get in there.
You did. You're in
Yeah.
it, Zach. I
yeah,
told you
that's
that.
right. Someone says Neptune's Galaxy says this song is actually a banger. They're like, dude, this is like literally a banger. They're letting us know. And then that's Joel commenting. Joel likes it too. Joel says sick, makes me want to play Sea of Thieves.
I did say that.
Yeah, really appreciate all this stuff.
Thanks, Joel.
Someone says, I love how this feels like a
Thanks for-
non-professionally written song, has some little just things you wouldn't necessarily see in a more experienced production, but is still like effing dope. Gives it a real unique niche. Good song,
I think-
guys.
Thanks, I think.
He had us in the
Thank you.
first half.
Yeah, I
We're
think
like,
that
are we about to get
compliment.
roasted?
Sounds
I
like
think he
sounds
liked
like
it.
humans made this, but it's okay. It's all right. 'Cause
But it's actually like effing dope. So yeah, really appreciate that, guys. Keep it coming. Seriously, if you've just been listening to like the show on like Spotify or whatever, check us out on YouTube. We got some extra stuff on there. So really appreciate it. Thanks again, Josh. Josh, are you hanging out for the downtime?
Thank
I
you,
would
Josh.
love to. I don't know if I can.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, totally. We went really long, so really appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one, bro. We'll just talk
Absolutely.
about your craft.
I will be on a
Yeah.
downtime at least, and just maybe not this one.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
All right. Well, we will see you next time, mortals.
I couldn't care less if you know his name or not, so take it for what it's worth. But his name was Anthony. I don't remember his name.
This is Bullthorn.
Bullthorn?
The Kobold Anthony.
Oh, close.
There's
Anthony was
nobody
close.
worse at remembering names than Ryan.
Actually, though. I'm actually writing it down, though.